I'm here with Australian actor Bryan Brown. He doesn't have any Lebanese heritage. He hasn't been in a Lebanese film, but he did grow up in the Bankstown area and he's returning there tonight. That's in southwest Sydney to launch the very first Lebanese Film Festival. Bryan Brown, thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Why did you want to get involved in the Lebanese Film Festival?
Because two very bright young Australian women of Lebanese background, the Lattouf sisters, Julia and Jessica, asked me.
And what was their pitch?
Well, they knew I came from that area and they decided they were going to put on a Lebanese film festival. And they came here and they explained the films that they wanted to do and how they'd gone about it and how they'd gone to Beirut and sourced all these films. And I was just taken by their adventurousness and by their intelligence and their enthusiasm. And they just, I said, look, I'll do anything you like. I'll be part of it.
And what can you tell us about Lebanese films for those who haven't seen many? What sets them apart?
Well, I think like all films from another place, you get taken into an exotic world, whether it be how the people look, how they dress, the food they eat, their mode of transport or whatever. It's different to you. It's different to how your world operates. I mean, at the centre of it is the same humanity, but you get taken to a strange exotic world, and that's sort of what escapism is. But and I think with Lebanese films, I've seen a couple of Lebanese films. I'm just very taken by very beautiful women, I got to say, the Lebanese women. Very handsome men too, I got to say. But I don't know. There's a sense of humour that I can relate to. Yet it's not the same as an Australian sense of humour, but it is a wryness that I understand.
Now we've got a Sydney postcard image as a backdrop today. You're going out to Bankstown tonight to launch it. It's a multicultural area, but how culturally different is Bankstown to, well, say a place where we are today?
When I grew up in the Bankstown area, and I came from Panania, when I grew up in the Bankstown area, it was the Bankstown bars were the centre of everything, where Ilsa and John Conrads were practising for the Olympics. There was a picture theatre, there was a railway station, milk bars, not a lot of trees. It's a very different place now. Well, it was the centre of excellence for us suburban boys, Bankstown, but it's a very different Bankstown now. It's far richer. It's it was very white bread. Nothing wrong with white bread, by the way. But the influences are dramatic. The people that live there now have come from all over Asia, all over the Middle East, and they've contributed to our culture, be it in food or events, and it's enriched the place.
Or do you think there's a rich enough understanding across wider Sydney and Australia of the different cultures that do live as well as around Sydney, but also but particularly in the southwest area?
I think growing up, when I grew up in the 50s and the 60s, I think every kid had an Italian or a Greek or a Lebanese or a Maltese kid in their class, but you didn't really know anything about it. And they were young Australian boys, really. You didn't really know anything about the places they'd come from. Now, of course, we know a lot about the places. Television and modern technology has taken us into worlds that we could only have read about in books. If I can remember exactly what the point of your question was, which I've forgotten, all I can say is that today our understanding of places is far better. And I guess that can only lead to a better tolerance.
Well, the cultural events, the arts, films, sometimes congregate around inner city areas. This event is very much out in the suburbs. How important do you think that is, and should there be more types of these events out in the suburbs, away from the city centres?
I think there's probably a lot of events that we're really ignorant about that go on in the suburbs. I don't think people sit on their asses doing nothing. I think like these young ladies, there are people out there putting things together all the time. We don't hear about it, or we aren't interested in promoting it. But I think it goes on, and it's vitally important We've only got to look around and see the trouble our kids get into if there's nothing there for them. So it behoves us to actually put on events, to whether they be artistic events or sporting events. Part of what society's job is to do is to provide enlightenment and activities for those growing up so that they can be wiser and better and more informed and happier going into their adult life.
Okay, Bryan Brown, thank you. So there are 23 films on the program. The Lebanese Film Festival runs until the 2nd of September. Anybody who's a foreign film buff or interested in getting a hold of some Lebanese food might want to check that out.